it's Lola, your favorite travel correspondent, reporting to you directly from the beautiful island of Oahu, Hawaii. Before we get into today's pros and cons video, fun fact, surfing was started by the Polynesians and was made popular by native Hawaiian surfer and competitive swimmer Duke Paoa Kahinu Mokoe Hulikahola Kahanamoku. He was born to a noble family 3 years prior to the illegal annexation of Hawaii. Alright, pro number 1, the water here is beautiful. The turquoise water actually is that way because of the lack of algae and other organic materials that typically makes water in the oceans darker. Now, some beaches here can get really salty waters and therefore it can be cloudy and a little hard to see. However, you will find some really good snorkeling spots on the islands where the water is so clear that you can see tropical fish, you can see turtles, you can see monk seals. If you see a monk seal, keep your distance, by the way. But yeah, the water here is just amazing and also great for photo ops. Pro number 2, we don't just have regular old sand. We've got white sand, we've got black sand, we've got green sand, and we've got red sand. Here on Oahu, we do have some beaches that have a light color sand, although it's not technically white, but in certain photos, depending on the lighting, it can look white. On the Big Island, we have black sand and green sand beaches. The black and green sand actually come from the volcano. The black sand, of course, coming directly from the cooled down lava that turns black over time after it cools off. And the green sand beach on the Big Island is called Papakolea. The black sand beaches, there are at least a couple that I visited when I went to the Big Island. One of them is Kahena Beach, but it's actually a nude beach. But you don't have to be nude if you're there. Just know that if you go there, that's what you're gonna see. And the red sand beach is on Maui and it's called Kaihalulu. That is also red because of the lava cinder. Pro number 3, when you come to Hawaii, you will most likely at some point get laid. And lei is a Hawaiian tradition. It's a string of flowers. They smell amazing. You wear them for ceremonies. If you go to a luau, it's commonplace that the luau will provide a lei for you, either a flower lei or a kukuina lei. And because it's just part of the culture here, anytime there's a special event like someone's going away, someone's birthday, it's customary to give or receive a lei. And I just think that's a really cool part of the culture. Pro number 4, here in the islands, we have what's called aloha casual. It means we really just don't dress up a lot here. Now, I did talk about this in another video, but to take it a step further, we're so aloha casual. Guys will often wear shirts with floral designs on them, but not just on everyday occasions, even to weddings. Which means that if you're attending a wedding in Hawaii, you most likely don't have to worry about getting a fancy suit. You can just pick up a nice aloha shirt. And if you work in an office, your company might participate in Aloha Fridays, which just means that on Fridays you can dress down a little bit, wear an aloha shirt rather than maybe your typical more dressed up office attire. And because aloha casual attire is so commonplace here, people kind of expect it and you're not going to get looked at strangely if you show up to an event wearing a floral printed aloha dress or shirt. Con number 1, a lot of the homes here are really old, and because of that, a lot of them don't come with AC. Now, some places will add window AC units, but it's just not the same as central AC. I'm a little spoiled. I come from Southern California. Every place I lived in, I believe, had central AC. Maybe 1 or 2 places didn't, but also it wasn't as hot in those places where I was living, and it was a dry heat. Here it's really humid, so it can feel hotter than it actually is. For example, the other day it was 84 degrees, felt like 91 with a 65% humidity. Just keep in mind, if you're planning on moving here, you might be hard pressed to find a home or rental unit with a high quality AC unit. Con number 2, my hugest pet peeve. So many people smoke here. Now, it's interesting because we have some of the best air quality in the nation, but speaking on an individual level, when you're walking down the street, someone's smoking. I drive with my windows down because my AC doesn't work. I'm always smelling smoke coming from other cars. I feel like people smoke everywhere. You might walk out of a store and someone's smoking right there. To me, it's extremely frustrating because I don't smoke and I'm really sensitive to cigarette smoke, and it's just one of the things that honestly, like everything else I can deal with, but every time I smell smoke, I want to move. I'm not even joking, especially because in our apartment, like I mentioned, our AC is not that great because it's a window unit and not a central AC. So we keep our windows open and it never fails. At least once a day, someone's smoking nearby. And because of the wind direction, even if someone's across the street, it blows right into our apartment. And it's so extremely frustrating because I'm trying to live a healthy lifestyle, but I cannot get away from the cigarette smoke no matter what I do. But I think a few tweaks I can make to my life is get a car with a better AC or get my AC fixed and move to a place that has central AC so we can keep the windows closed. I think that'll make my stay here a lot better. But honestly, I'm this close to being like, all right, bye. Con number 3, and this, I only bring it up because it happened just the other day. Well, I did mention in another video that there are a lot of chickens and roosters here. That's not usually a problem. However, the other morning I was woken up at the crack of dawn by a rooster right outside our apartment. That's never happened before. I've lived there for a couple years now. Never heard a rooster there. For some reason, it sounded like it was right in our yard, and I went outside and I couldn't see it anywhere. So I just had to deal with it. And because there are roosters everywhere, if you move to a place that has chickens and roosters nearby, you are gonna have to deal with that alarm clock. So if that doesn't bother you, cool. Just be mindful of that before you just jump on to signing a lease or buying a property. Just find out if there are roosters nearby, because that can get pretty annoying. Con number 4, and this is a serious one. Hawaii, though it is part of the United States, it was actually illegally annexed from Queen Liliuokalani in 1893. A coup took place and she was removed from the throne, making Hawaii no longer sovereign. Now, because of this history, there's a lot of tension between Hawaiians and the foreigners, more specifically the Caucasians who've moved here. There are a lot of native Hawaiians who feel that Hawaii should be a sovereign nation and do not want to be part of the United States, and will actively say that they are not American. Hawaii is not part of America. So if you are Caucasian, you might experience some tension because of that. But even despite that, it's just a terrible part of our history that unfortunately has not been rectified. As a result of this annexation and a lot of other practices like forcing Hawaiians to speak English, stripping them of their culture by forcing them to wear Westerners' clothing, and no longer allowing them to wear hula attire or practice hula dance, there is a lot of the Hawaiian culture that has basically barely hung on by a thread. Now, there are people who are actively trying to bring the Hawaiian culture back, and if you come to the islands, you will see it here or there. As far as like individual families, I've heard people speaking Hawaiian to each other, but in general, sadly, when you come here, well, at least on Oahu, it feels more to me, in my opinion, like you're in America than in like Polynesia. I definitely feel like I'm in America, although there are times I also feel like I'm just outside of America, like I feel like I'm in a bubble, but it's very evident that you're in America, and the reason that that's a bummer is only because it really makes obvious the fact that Hawaiian culture was almost completely wiped out. In fact, compared to other ethnic groups, Hawaiian make up a very small percentage of the inhabitants of Hawaii. Alright, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you learned something new. Did any of the cons make you not want to move to Hawaii, or are you still on board? If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on future videos like this and my other travel content as well. I'll see you in the next one. Aloha!